Hey, what's
Okay.
going on? Hey, what's going on, good
Okay.
people? It's Gardner Douglas, your Oyster Ninja. I'm here today with Mr. Adam Simha, man, of MKS Design. He just sent me a little nugget in the mail, and we're gonna open it. But I wanted to get him on here so he can tell us a little bit about MKS Design and, of course, the awesome knife designs, which is an oyster knife, of course. Adam, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing? Good to be here. So I've been doing custom culinary knives for almost 20 years, and this oyster knife is a design that I came up with in conjunction with a couple of shuckers around town, and especially a guy named Bobby Groves, who's I met in London, and he's one of these guys doing 600-800 a night, and after a couple of years looking at some issues, neurological issues, and so I wanted to use everything that I learned in school about force concentration, about design, about human factors, about materials, to come up with something that would help someone in that position do the work, help do some of the work for you. And so that's what this is. It's got a wide sort of bulb of a handle that distributes the force all over your palm as opposed to in one little spot, which can be really problematic for some people. And again, if you're opening 2 or 3 or 10, you could do it with a screwdriver if you know what you're doing, right? But when you're doing that many, it really matters. And I made the blade a little stouter than usual, but with a really sharp edge, like an ice skate.
Mhm.
So scraping is really easy. You don't have to push, and just the slightest twist or side by side, because the blade thickens out so quickly, will just pry that hinge right open. So if you let the knife do the work, this guy it just lights out for dozens and dozens and doesn't kill you. That's the idea.
Nice. So how the heck did you get into like knife making, man? What made you wake up one morning and say, you know what? Because you already had the other bit, the MKS, right? So you just
Yeah. So I took a class from an amazing guy named J.D. Smith, who was a master smith in the American Bladesmith Society. This is in 1999. And, he does a demo which just blows your mind the first day. And you realize you could do that with fire and a piece of steel and a hammer. And he says, yeah, although, in 10,000 hours, right?
right.
So I took the class, I fell in love. And at the end, he took me aside, very sweetly and knowingly, and he said, this is a disease for which there is no cure. And I have proved him right.
Right.
It just, you can't stop.
So what were you doing before the knife making?
I was doing a lot of metal work, doing metal furniture design, build for a while. And before that, I had a whole host of other careers, including a bunch of time in the food business. I worked in restaurants. I was a baker. So I've always been close to the culinary arts. And what's cool is that a lot of people that I knew back then are now, if they're still in it, they're running places and they own places and they have all this experience. And I'm able to do a lot of the design work with a lot of amazing feedback. And for people who are actually working, you can use almost any knife to cut one lime for a drink, but if you have to cut 1,000 limes in one night, it kind of matters.
Got you. Okay. So right now I'm breaking into the box, which I tell you, like shucking, sometimes it can be the hardest thing just getting into the box. Uh so no, it's all good. Yeah. Let me put my okay, all right. And every time when you think you got it, of course, it's another angle. You gotta go through that way.
Let me send you another knife so you can, it'll be a dedicated box knife, right?
Oh man, come on, man. Come on, Adam. Come on, Adam. Come on, man. Man, so the first thing right off, I feel the weight, man. And I'm loving the weight of this handle. I haven't, so here we are right here. The weight on this is not a toy. This is not a toy, man. Whew. Oh my gosh. Man, this is beautiful.
Thank you very
This
much.
is
Appreciate it.
beautiful. This is art. So talk to me about this blade, man. Like, and you got the MKS knife, USA. Whew.
So I started making the blades out of D2, which is a tool steel meant for impact. It doesn't put up with the salt that well.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Good to know.
so I figured after a while I would try stainless, and I made a few and I put them out. I gave them some folks that I knew were pretty rough, and I said, beat them up. Like, I have to know, if they break, they break. And after 2 years, they didn't break. So I said, all right, let's switch to stainless. And I'm using an ABL, which I use for most of my stainless kitchen knives. Anything that doesn't have to deal with impact.
Right. So as far as like me shucking oysters, I don't have to worry about shucking salty oysters or bay oysters,
No.
or I'm good. So just what's the care on it?
The care on it is just use it. And if you ever want to send it back to me for a touch up, I'll turn it around in a day. Lifetime guarantee.
Wow,
But
lifetime guarantee.
I'll tell you this, the guy I was talking about before, Bobby Groves,
Yeah.
was after he got $1 million on his first one, he got it tattooed on his arm, which was a real honor. So I sent him another one, which
Right.
he keeps for special events, but he's still using number one.
Wow. Now, is this real wood?
That is G10, which is a fiberglass composite. So that's non-porous. It's tough as a hammer.
Yeah, I can tell, man. It's so seamless, man. It's just like it keeps going. And like I say, it's real artsy, man. I'm just getting some art vibes off of it, man.
Well, it's got, it's got to be sexy, right? You got to want to use it. You got like, oh yeah, I'm going to work.
Right.
It's not like you can't be like, oh God, I have to go to work, right?
Cool. Well, man, yo, I appreciate this, man. This is beautiful, man. I can't take my eyes off of it, honestly.
Cool. Well, I hope you do some serious damage with it, and I can't wait to see the pictures.
For sure, man. So just how can the next oyster shucker get up with you, man? How can we reach out to you and find your oyster knives and check you out?
So you can check out the website, which is mksknife.com, or you can check out MKS Knife on Instagram. That's got the most recent stuff that I'm doing. And but anytime you can reach out to me through either way, and I'm always happy to answer a text or a message or whatever and discuss any custom projects, or the handles on these things can be whatever you like, and we can talk about that too.
Hold on, you said the handle can do what now?
We could do the custom handles.
Wow. Okay.
So I mean, the Black G10 is just sort of my favorite basic flagship. You just can't go wrong. I mean, you could hang from that if you had to. You just stick it in something.
No doubt.
But a lot of times people want, who knows, what they want, why they want it. I'm always amazed.
What's the what do you think the most unique order you've ever got, as far as like custom knife or custom drawing, anything?
Man, it gets pretty hilarious. I got to tell you, I generally, I don't make weapons for people that I don't know.
Right.
But I've come close a couple of times, and it's pretty intense. There's some chefs who do a lot of whole animal butchery. And they'll come to me and say, I want to be able to break this thing. I'm roasting this pig. It's 150 pounds. I want just one knife, break down the whole thing, scrape the femurs, go through the head, get what's behind the eye. I was like, all right, give me a minute. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And, it's, but all that stuff's on the Instagram. And the coolest thing about this is that every chef is different. Every shucker is different. There's no right answer. So I have to make it up each time. I mean, I can give my experience and my sense of it, but people always know what they want when they have their hands on stuff.
No doubt. Oh man, I appreciate you for sending this out. We're gonna take some great
huge
photos.
pleasure.
We're gonna shuck some great oysters with this.
Awesome.
Man, I might have to hit somebody up on the head with this. Just in case. I mean, it's bad enough having a shucker, that's your weapon anyway. But I believe this is one of the heaviest knives I've ever had.
Well, it is a little different in that respect. So when you go at the oyster, and granted, I've never seen you shuck, so I don't know, but just kind of let it fall into it.
Yeah,
I mean, you obviously got to stay in control, but it'll do so much of the work with that plus gravity.
right.
Just that extra little bit. It's pretty
No,
cool.
that makes sense. I totally understand what you mean. All right, man.
Cool,
We're
man.
gonna get it in.
Great to see you. Thanks much. It's a
All
great
right.
pleasure. Talk to you soon.
Let's see.